good morning everyone. Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay, great. Thank you for the lovely welcome just now. My name is Lavini, and I think you already know that I run babydash.com.my. I think, firstly I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction. I was not an entrepreneur from the very beginning. I am actually a law graduate, and I went into banking for about 2 years, and then I decided that the corporate world, although I was having a lot of fun, I decided that, there's something out there. And so I actually took a break for a little while, and then only after that I discovered, oh, let's give business a try and let's see what happens. So I didn't, not at your age anyway, you all look very young. You all got 18, 20, something like that. So at your age, I definitely had no idea that business was the way to go for me. It would have been nice that I had an extra head start if I knew at that age. So I only thought about it about 24, I think.
Some of them are in this age group. Our eldest here is 28.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, there's no real age barrier or age limit. As long as you have the desire to do something and you're determined, then age is not a factor. But of course, the earlier you start, the better. The later you start, I guess, some of my friends now, they want to quit their jobs and they want to go into business. But the difference is, much later on in life, you've got commitments and those kind of things. It's very hard to take huge risks. When you're young, you should, because that's the best time. Okay, so yeah, very early on I started in business, but it wasn't Baby Dash. I started a dance school about 11 years ago, and that was a lot of fun. That was actually my passion. And I ran it for a good 10, 11 years, and then after that I decided, I need a bigger challenge.
Don't mind. I'm just cold.
Okay. I decided I need a bigger challenge because a dance school is great and it's your passion, but it wasn't a scalable business. So I don't know what kind of businesses you guys are thinking of, but if you're looking to create something really big, then you know what, you're going to start exploring. You're going to try something, you've got to fail at things, and then from there one thing leads to another. So even as I share with you my Baby Dash story, I will share with you how even within Baby Dash we realized certain things, and we then started another company because of Baby Dash. Right? Okay, so moving on from there. Baby Dash started about 3.5 years ago, June 2011. And as I said, it was because I think I got bored after about 10, 11 years, wanted a bigger challenge. So a friend of mine and myself, we got together and we were discussing various ideas. So it wasn't Baby Dash from the start. We had no idea what it was going to be. We actually looked at even a coffee franchise. We looked at all kinds of different businesses. And if you open your eyes, if you have no idea what you want to do yet, but you know you want to do business, there are all sorts of opportunities out there where you can go for franchise talks, or any kind of talk. The more things you expose yourself to, the more ideas you get. And the more you read up on the internet or explore, the more you will see. So that's exactly what we did. We explored all these options, and then one day we sat down over coffee and we said, hey, the online business is booming right now. This was 3.5 years ago. And we remembered that one of our friends who came back from New Zealand said that, when she had her baby, she used to buy diapers and milk online, and she was so surprised when she came here on holiday that you couldn't buy diapers and milk online, and everybody was rushing out to the grocery store. And both my partner and myself, we already have children, and we're like, yeah, that's a good idea. We struggled as well. Always rushing out, always running out of milk. So, okay, let's do it. And that's exactly how the idea came about, because there was a gap in the market, nobody was doing it, and so we did it. And then when we did research online, we found actually there are many, many baby websites. So we had to look for ways to really differentiate ourselves. And when I mean baby websites, a lot of them focus on things like strollers, car seats, all those one-off things that you just buy once and then that's it. But nobody was thinking about the daily necessities, like the diapers, like the milk, like baby food. So we thought there definitely is a gap. Let's try to become or create something where we become Malaysia's one-stop shop where you have all those daily necessities like your diapers, milk, and then eventually we will then add on all the strollers and toys. But the reason why we focused on diapers and milk is because that's your recurring income. People will come back to you every 2 to 3 months, sorry, 2 to 3 weeks because they run out of these items. So you build your customers and they keep coming back to you. It's not you do marketing, you get one customer and then, oh, because they bought a stroller from you, they won't come back maybe for another few years when they need to buy something else like a different toy or something. We wanted the recurring income. So that was the driving factor. Okay, how we started. Both my partner and I had no idea about an e-commerce website. We had no idea how to do anything online. So who did we turn to? Google. So we turned to Google and we looked at who else was doing online baby stuff. And we couldn't look at Malaysia because, like I said, nobody was doing the diapers, milk. They were all doing baby toys and strollers. So we looked at the neighbor websites. And our inspiration came from diapers.com. Diapers.com is a huge success story. And we read all the articles regarding diapers.com and we thought, that's exactly what we want to do, and we're going to emulate that in Malaysia. So we looked at their model, and then we decided, okay, let's start talking to suppliers to see whether or not we can do this in Malaysia, which is the fourth point over here. We start doing supplier research just to get an idea. Because although my first point there is business model first, we kind of needed to know what are all our products going to cost us. We needed all these figures so that we can then build a business model. So we had a template of what we knew we wanted, but we needed to fit in the information. So we looked for suppliers of diapers, of milk, just to get an idea of what the costs were, what we could sell it at, what our margins were, and once we knew what we could make, what our other costs were, and then we made a whole model as to how many customers we would need to make this profitable and what our other costs were. Basically, a business model is imperative no matter what business you think of. Yeah. Then the next step, after we did our business model, we got all these costs. We said, okay, it's workable. Now we're going to figure out how to build a website. Again, something we had no idea about how to do. But you see, the good thing is when you have no idea about anything, there's Google to help you. And you can search for anything, and you really have to read and read and read and look at other examples. Never confine yourself to Malaysia because, if you're in e-commerce, Malaysia is very much in its infancy, which means we are nowhere compared to the US and Europe. They are miles ahead, which means you can look to the Western world to get a lot of ideas and inspiration as to how you want to benchmark yourself. So basically, whatever you create is actually going to take the bar higher in Malaysia because it doesn't really exist here yet. Mind you, when we started, Zalora and Lazada were not in the picture yet. So we were really early, 3.5 years ago. Even Tesco wasn't online at that point. Yeah. So, and all these companies came on about a year after we started. Yeah. Okay. So, but like I said, there were other websites, but a lot of them didn't look so impressive. But what we did was we Googled website developers and website backends, and we thought, let's just make all these meetings, go and meet all these people, and try to understand, what we can do and how we can build a website. So when we met them, we realized we didn't understand what they were saying because they were using tech jargon. I had no idea what Joomla was, what Magento was. It was all, I heard all these terms and I had to then go back after these meetings and research those terms and to get a better idea. So in the end, even when we decided on a web developer, it was not because we knew exactly what the web developer was telling us, but because we went on gut feel and we looked at the budgets they were all offering us, and we thought, hey, if we're going to start something new, we don't want to spend too much money either, because what if it fails and everything's invested then and gone, right? So we had really, really low budgets given by some developers. They were really high budgets, and what we did was we went with the guy who was midway, because we figured at the end of the day you also pay for what you get. So if you go really, really cheap, you're not going to get something. And it depends on your goal. If you really want to do something huge and big and scalable, you need to think about the big picture as well. So whilst we didn't want to spend the top end, we knew we couldn't go really cheap either, because we wanted to look really professional. So we thought, let's go midway and take the ride from there. It's exactly what we did, and we're glad we made the right decision. But we know that now. At that point, we had no idea. And then I think a lot of you, since you're all so young, I'm sure you're all very well versed. You're always, going online and shopping and that kind of thing. And if you look at many websites, you will see some of them just give you a Maybank account and they ask you to bank it. So we didn't want to do that either, because if you look at the global websites, none of them do that, the really top-notch ones. They all have a payment gateway. Everyone's tied up with PayPal, or that kind of thing. So in Malaysia, we do have those options. PayPal is an option, but that's for a later stage. But for young people who are starting out a business, an online business, there are gateways like iPay88 and MOL Pay. So it's good from the very beginning. If you want to have something really professional and scalable and something that looks good, it's important to make sure you tie up your payment gateways like that and not just have a Maybank account on your website. And then, so not everybody's willing to, just transfer money across like that. You want to be credible, So in everything we did, right down from developing the website, the payment gateway, the whole business model, whatever it is, we had to look professional and we had to look credible. We had to stand out, and that was the only way we were going to move forward. I already talked about the supplier research. Okay, this one is interesting, courier companies. Every single online business has to have a courier partner, unless you decide, hey, you're going to set up a logistics company yourself, which is another business and it'll be a huge nightmare. In which case, you still have to tie up with a courier company, whether it's Post Laju or Skynet or CityLink. There's so many courier companies out there. What's interesting for us is, unlike businesses like fashion or other businesses that sell small items, for those items, your courier costs don't matter tremendously because they are small items, and so it's minimal cost. For us, because we were looking at selling diapers and milk, they're big and bulky. They're talking about big boxes. Okay, so can you imagine courier charges would have killed us if we didn't negotiate good rates from the very beginning. So this was a challenge, because first we had to make a list of all the courier companies available in Malaysia. There are actually a lot more out there than you think. Most of us will think, oh, just Post Laju, Skynet, CityLink. I made a list after doing a Google search. I had about 12 companies. I never knew there were 12 courier companies in Malaysia. And today, there are probably a few more than that, So I made that list. I called every single one, and I said, okay, give me your rates. And everyone will give you standard rates. And then I was like, okay, that's not going to work, because they gave me 0 to 1 kg, 1 to 2 kg. I said, I'm selling big diapers and milk, so I need your package rates, like maybe the first 4 kg, give me your best rate, or the first 5 kg. So they all reworked their proposal, they all came back to me, but it still wasn't good. And then they all said to me, you know what, if you give us good volume, as in you send a lot of parcels through us, then we'll give you better rates. So it's a chicken and egg situation, right? Because you're just starting out, you want the business to work, but these courier companies are not giving you good rates from the very beginning because you have no volume yet, you're 0 at the moment. So I thought, okay, never mind, let's take the best one we've got and then start the business. And then my plan was within a month to 2, go back to them and say, hey, the business is picking up, you have to give me better rates now, otherwise this business is not going to work. So I needed the help of the courier companies. But I knew I couldn't tell them that from day one. I knew I had to start first and then give them the confidence that the business could grow. Most people will probably take longer than 1 to 2 months, because in 1 to 2 months you're not going to get huge volume, because it takes a long time to build your database, to get the word out there, get the marketing out there. But I knew in our case we had to do it early, and I had to find the soft spot with whichever sales rep who would help us out. Otherwise, we were going to lose money on every single trade. And you couldn't afford. Well, some people will say, yeah, we can afford that, we'll do it for 6 months or so, and then after that we can start thinking about it. But I think we were super prudent, and we wanted to be really careful from the start. So that was definitely a challenge, the courier company one. Okay, I talked about the challenges we face in terms of having zero knowledge. and all the efforts we had to put in to sort of understand what the e-commerce world was all about. There were other challenges we faced initially. Mind you, I'll talk again later about challenges that I'm facing today, which are totally different to this slide that you see right now. So I'm actually having to think back 3.5 years ago as to what challenges I faced at the very beginning, because that will be the same challenges that you guys will be facing if you start something new. So yeah, we had zero knowledge and we had to learn everything from beginning. It was a huge, steep learning curve, having no knowledge at all. We were unknown. Okay, this is important because we were talking to diaper companies and infant milk companies. You're talking about people who sell like Mami Poco, I don't know if you know these brand names, Mami Poco, Huggies, you know, and these are huge companies. And if you go along to them and say, hey, I'm going to start an e-commerce site selling these diapers and milk, and nobody else in Malaysia was doing it at that point, they looked at us and said, really? You can do it? They were so skeptical, you know, but we were like, never mind, just give us your price list, let us try, you know. So you kind of have to, we were knocking on doors and, you know, trying our best to hook up any supplier we could. We knew we wouldn't get all the brands in the beginning, because these are big brands, you know, they want credible people, they don't want unknowns, right? So we had to sell them our story and tell them what our plan was. So we had to be convincing, in which case, if you have to do the same thing, it's very important to be able to deliver your message well, be able to explain what your goal is, where you see your business, and tell them, hey, we're just at the beginning, but this is where we're going to go. You got to convince them. So we had to do so much convincing. It was really tiring, but we knew it was necessary in order to get this business moving. Otherwise, if you don't have the products, you're not going to go anywhere. And we were talking about big name brands, not unknown brands, not stuff that you might import from China. That one's easy, you just import from China, put it on the website, sell. These are brands that already have a strong foothold in Justco, in Tesco, Giant. You know, why would they suddenly want to go to this small website called Baby Dash, right? So we had to do so much convincing. So unknown, although we were unknown, it was a challenge that we had, and we overcame it by just convincing and talking and talking. And we did start somewhere, because the website actually started with purely diapers and milk and some baby skincare. We didn't have anything else. We didn't have the baby food, we didn't have baby strollers, toys, and all that, nothing of that. We really started with the basics first. So yeah, okay, I talked about this already. It was tough getting good courier deals. Okay, this is an important point. In any business you do, you are doing everything yourself. This is a big thing. It's not like when you work in a company, in a particular role, you just do that role. Especially when you join big companies, you're hired for a particular position, you're not expected to do your colleague's job, or, you know, especially people in another department, you're not doing their job. When you start your own business, you are all the departments in one. So, you know, in my case, although I had my partner, she was working in the bank at that point, and so I was running it on my own, because I had my own dance studio, as you know, and I had my own free time to then work on this. It was actually a side thing initially. So I was talking to the suppliers, I was also talking to the website developers, and then once the website was up, I had to do the uploading of products. The website guy will develop a website for you, they will teach you how to do it, but they're not going to do all the hard work for you after that. They give you a platform, right? So I had to learn how to upload products. I had to, for some items where you couldn't find the pictures on Google, I had to go and take pictures, and I didn't want the pictures to look unprofessional. So I had, lucky my husband has got a nice camera, so I said, can you please take all these pictures for me? And then we, you know, had to do, suddenly had to do photo editing, put watermark with our logo, things I never done before, right? So yeah, take pictures, upload it, you know, start creating the product list on the website, and then orders started coming through. I had to create a Facebook page, and actually our first order came in even before we launched, because while we were testing the website in May, suddenly we got an order, and we were puzzled, like, hey, is this a real order or what? So I called the customer, and it was a real order. So panic, right? Because our boxes hadn't even arrived. We were just testing the website. I had also ordered boxes because we had to customize. You know, when you sell diapers, and diapers you imagine is a big box, you know. Milk is that size. So if somebody orders one packet of diapers and 1 tin of milk, you've got to kind of agak what the box size is going to be. So we had no idea, right? So again, just randomly made 2 or 3 sizes first, and then and those I already put in the order, but those boxes had not arrived. But this order came in May, and we panicked. So my partner had to run to, I don't know, mailboxes.com and look for a box, and then we had to fulfill this order because it was successful. The payment went through. Yeah, so we were kind of, yeah, I know, so we were kind of forced to launch early. We actually planned to launch in July. The order came in May, so okay lah, launch in June. That's exactly what we did. And then, to be honest, we didn't spend much time in 2011. We didn't spend any time marketing at all because we was concentrating on just uploading products. Don't forget, it was a part-time thing, right? So uploading products, it was talking to more and more suppliers. So no time to think about marketing because we wanted to create the website first, create the whole database of products. So we didn't do any of that in 2011, but yet people slowly started buying. We had an order or 2, you know, how many orders we have? I can't remember now. Good. I don't know, maybe 20, 30 orders in the first month, which is not bad, you know. And again, the reason for that was because of Google. Because you know, when your website is live already, if people are searching for something and it happens to catch your keyword, Google happens to put you on the, I don't know, 2nd page or 3rd page, then you're lucky, right? People find you, they might compare prices, and then, oh, let's try Baby Dash. So in the beginning, it was purely organic search because we did no PR, no articles in the papers. So it's organic search, and then also a couple of months after we launched the website, we started our Facebook page. Could have been around the same time actually. So, but again, you need to build your fan base on Facebook. Otherwise, you know, and that also takes time. So, so the first year in 2011 and also 2012 was about building the website and you know, getting as many customers as possible. When I say you do everything yourself, I also, once the orders came in, I packed it myself. I called the courier company, they came and collected it. And then I was also the customer service person, so I called customers, and I'll talk about that in a bit. And then if a parcel was delayed, I had to call the courier company and then sort it out. And so basically you do everything. There's no such thing as asking somebody else to do something for you. And that's not easy, so you really have to have a lot of drive is one thing, but you really need to be really determined to make your business a success and work 24/7. I don't even know sometimes I don't know what day it is. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I don't know whether there's a public holiday coming up because that's not important to me. When you have your own business, you literally work non-stop. Actually, even now, sometimes I work till 2, 3 in the morning. I shouldn't do that anymore. At this point, I can now knock off at 10 o'clock if I want. Again, I think not many people do that. Maybe you can. People think that, oh, if I have my own business, I have my own time, I'll be quite free. Actually, that's not true. You just work non-stop, you know. Okay, who helped our business? This is so true, it's AirAsia. Because not just our business, but any e-commerce business, any online business we do. Because I tell you something, if we started with Baby Dash 10 years ago, there's no way it'll be a success story because people won't dare to simply put their credit card and, you know, and buy things. But when AirAsia first started, you know, people were so attracted by the great discounts and, you know, they were willingly putting down their credit card to test it. But of course, it took time even for AirAsia to build their credibility. And today, people just put their credit card and buy air tickets. So because of the confidence of buying things or flight tickets online, that has actually helped all the e-commerce businesses. So AirAsia not only has helped us, but everybody who wants to do e-commerce. I talked a bit about this just now, about where our ideas come from. I looked at Malaysian websites to know who our competitors were, but as I mentioned earlier, they were only competitors in a certain segment. Even up to today, I don't have a competitor who competes with me on every single category of my website. But what I do have, I'll talk about that again later. I occupy a very interesting niche where I do compete with baby stores on the one hand, and I also compete with supermarkets. So I compete with Tesco and Giant Just Go and all that. So our ideas, I couldn't look at another superstar Malaysian website to get ideas from. I had to look out of Malaysia. Diapers.com was a big influence on us. And then I looked at Indonesia as well. So if you guys are thinking of e-commerce businesses, Indonesia is quite amazing. They've got a lot of, well, it's a population game, right? So a lot of people are going to Indonesia right now and trying to build things because they know that they can build a huge business which is scalable and then hopefully sell off their company one day. And so I also looked at Indonesia and I looked at Europe. I looked at the UK, I looked at all kinds of European countries, I looked at Turkey. The languages are different. The good thing about Google is you can translate the web page. So don't shy away from foreign websites because you can learn a lot from them. So yeah, all our information and ideas came from pulling all the resources. I opened all these websites, and then from there I decided what were the key features of each website I liked, and from there we built ours. I took all the good points. So I actually stole ideas now from everywhere, if you look at it that way. And then, of course, for the websites that had huge success stories like Diapers.com, I read all their articles. So I was always going to international publications and seeing and learning what they did. And they started in 2005, and they also were like us. They started from one of their friends' garage, and they had all the diapers in the garage and tins of milk. They didn't have a warehouse. They started just exactly like we did. So if you came to my house 3.5 years ago, you wouldn't be able to walk properly because we had boxes all over the place and up to the floor and then rows and rows of it. And it was in late 2012 where we decided, okay, we're growing. We can't operate from a house anymore. My partner's house also was full of boxes. Maybe there was no space, it was getting a bit too dusty because we couldn't clean and it was a bit crazy. So we moved to a mini warehouse in December 2012, and since then we've moved again. We have another warehouse now which is even bigger. It's still small, but it's bigger than what we had. So it's a continuous growth process. And even now I can see that maybe sometime next year we will need another space. So hopefully the lot next to us, something like that. So as long as you think about, when you do something, it's all about growth. You got to think about how to push your business forward, and when you're continuously growing, you got to continuously think. Like that's why I say here, it's always a thinking game. You got to think about how to push and drive your business forward. Because if you stand still, there are always competitors out there. Somebody's going to watch you and say, "Hey, I'm going to copy that." And if you stand still, people will overtake you, which means you always have to think, at least 10 to 20 steps ahead. Because even for us, people have copied us. There was one website, they were so silly, they copied even our text. So under the contact us page had our email address. And that's how I found them, because I was just Googling us to see how we were doing on the rankings. And I came across this odd website which had our email address. We pulled out Baby Dash, because I was Googling Baby Dash. And I was like, oh dear. So I could send it to lawyers, say, hey, what do we do about this? You know what I mean? Because they're obviously using our email. It was a mistake on their part. Yeah, so you have all kinds of characters out there. And then another website, they were actually one of our customers. They started a website and they copied everything we did. So the thing is, we have to constantly innovate, right? And think of new ways. Because even when you innovate, those new ideas are going to be copied. So you have to constantly innovate and think, because by the time they copy your ideas, you've got something new coming in already. So it's non-stop. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, sorry? Of course it's tiring, but it's also exciting because you're thinking of new ways to push yourself forward. Yeah, sure.
How did you think of new ways? What inspired you?
To think of new ways? I always look at the global websites, and I get some ideas from them. But when you start, it's not just about, you can't think of these new things from the very beginning. You need to start a business, and as you're doing it, some ideas will come. Some ideas will come. I'll give you an example. I think that's in my next slide. Not yet. Okay, never mind. I'll talk about that now since you asked the question. Because people were starting to copy us, and what we did was our idea, okay, Baby Dash's idea was to start converting people, instead of going to the supermarket or baby stores to buy your daily necessities, the idea was to get them to start buying online. Instead of running out to Tesco to buy the milk that you've forgotten about or diapers that you run out of. So, yeah, so in order to do that, when we started speaking to these suppliers, we got a couple of brands in, and then we realized, hey, our website is going to have all these brands that are already, yes, it's all already available in the Malaysian market. But after a point, it's all brands that you can get in Malaysia anyway. That was the whole point because we're converting people, right? So then somebody else is going to set up a website and copy us. So how do we then take ourselves to the next level? By bringing in brands that are not in Malaysia. That was a logical thing to do. So in Malaysia, there are certain distributors that already import different brands. And so we started talking to them. They supply baby stores and maybe some online stores. But now our idea is to get every single thing which is of good quality and put it on our website. Most websites won't do that. They won't take all the brands. But we want to truly become that one-stop shop. So the main thing here is to have a huge, wide variety that people can just come to us and get everything they need. They don't need to go buy some from us, buy some from another website. You know what I mean? They need to have everything under one roof. But even then, that can be copied, right? So we'll think further. And we thought, okay, let's get control of some brands ourselves, whereby we become the importers ourselves. We don't have to look for suppliers in Malaysia anymore. So we import the brands into Malaysia ourselves and then we control it. We decide where it goes. And by us controlling those brands, we can, I mean, it's good. We can put it in the supermarkets. It's good for us. It's good for the brand. But if we want to hold it away from other online companies, I don't have to give it to them, right? Keeping control over these brands. So that's one way I secure my position. So that's an example of how you have to think out of the box. That in just that category. There are other ways, of course, many other things. Yeah, go ahead.
How did she get the brands of other countries?
Oh, okay. That's a lot of hard work. Again, product knowledge is important. If you don't have the product knowledge, again, Google is a good friend. So when you Google all these international websites, you will see what are the brands that most of these websites carry. The ones that are popular, if let's say you look at a basket of, let's say, 20 websites, if 18 websites carry a particular brand that's not in Malaysia, obviously it's doing well in all these 18 websites. It's popular, right? So, so we use that logical deduction, and we also use some of these brands we already know because they are abroad. Like for example, I control a brand called Organics in Malaysia. It's organic, it's a baby food brand. It's not the #1 brand in the UK. It wasn't, well, it actually wasn't officially in Malaysia, but actually there was a little bit of stock in, let's say, Village Grocer, but that's because they imported a little bit themselves because they wanted it, right? But there wasn't an official distributor. So, but I already knew about Organics. I already knew they were the #1 in the UK. So we contacted them and we said, we want to represent you guys in Malaysia. And then they said, okay, lucky there was nobody who had spoken to them yet. And they said, send us your business plan. So suddenly I had to think of, okay, we have to do projection. Again, no idea, right? How much we can sell. But you have to just come up. You have to estimate, correct. So you have to start from the beginning. Do logical deduction of saying, okay, how many supermarkets are there in Malaysia? Make a list. Okay, how many branches are there? So Village Grocer is 3, Jaya Grocer is 8, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then let's estimate how much each one might buy from us. So then you know what the total is in a given month, times that by 12, you know this is what your annual, again, it's an estimate. So you go to these guys with an idea and an estimate as to where you think or how you can benchmark yourself and how much you think. Don't forget, they want to see numbers. If you show them small numbers, they're not interested. Because if you want to represent a brand in this country and be their sole distributor, you really have to show them that you're going to push their brand. So we had to inflate our numbers. So we said, this is what we can achieve for you in about 2 to 3 years. You know, give us time, but we need to start somewhere, and these are the figures we're going to achieve for you. So we're still working on it. We're almost there because we only started this brand about slightly less than 2 years ago. So, but it's constant work, you know. It's not. That's why I'm saying it's not a 9 to 5 job. It's and it's like non-stop and yeah, you constantly think about your own business like that. That's right. So it's always a thinking game. You think and think and think about how to make yourself different and how to stand out. And if people copy you, what's going to make yourself even better and innovate. And this is non-stop. Okay, I'll tell you a few tips about what makes us Baby Dash stand out. We are extremely particular about customer service. And as cliche as it sounds, it's super important. Let me ask you a question. How many people up here have bought from Lazada or Zalora before? Nobody? Okay, how many of you done online shopping?
Nope.
Okay, when you've done online shopping, how many of you have received a phone call from any of these online stores to say, hey, thank you for trying our website. Welcome to our none, right? Okay, that's exactly what we do. Every single new customer that comes to our website, we call them up and we say, welcome to Baby Dash. Thank you for giving us a try. And then we build a relationship with them. We ask them, how old is your baby? Of course, people are shocked about this question, right? So we say, we want to send you a little small gift to thank you for trying our website. So, could you tell us the age of your baby? So we send you something appropriate for that age. So this is another way we've thought of innovating and being different. Because there's so many online stores out there, everybody sells things and just packs it and sends it out. But how can you be different, right? So customer service is super, super important. And why is that the case? Again, we got that idea from diapers.com because they are really, really good at it. Even now, when they're so big, their customer service is still really excellent. Yeah, because like I said, everybody can set up an online store, but it's not easy to do good customer service. So yeah, we build relationships with our customers and we're collecting data. We know all our customers, we know how old their babies are at that particular point. So later on, when we decide to become even more sophisticated, actually we're at that point now where we're trying to upgrade, and then going forward, hopefully we can then input the ages of the babies into our system. We haven't come there yet, but and then hopefully the next stage is our website can then send them an email reminder, hey, your baby is now 2 years old, and therefore these products will interest you, right? So these are new innovative things. Yeah, exactly. The current Malaysian websites don't do that. Lazada doesn't tell you, hey, maybe this will suit you now because you are now, or whoever is, however, 5 years old or whatever, right? So you really got to think about these kind of things, so many things. But it's fun, it's really exciting, because you're constantly challenging yourself, Okay, so, sorry.
Do you use your own voice or you record it?
No, my own voice, because you're having a conversation, right? And you're getting data down, people talk to you, right? No, it goes straight into an Excel spreadsheet. So every customer we have is in an Excel spreadsheet. When they give us, we ask them, how did you find out about us? That's the first thing we ask them. We ask them how they found out about us. Then we record that, and we know how many people are coming to us because of Google, how many people are coming to us because of Facebook, how many people are coming to us because a friend referred us, So we collect that data, and then we know, okay, therefore, okay, now we should spend more money on Facebook or spend more money on Google because that works. You must test. You must constantly test. Yeah. I don't do it anymore. I used to do it myself, but now I've hired somebody to take on that role because it's just too much, right? The business is growing, you can't handle. Whereas in the beginning you do everything yourself, it comes to a point where you learn to hire people to do some of the things you do so that you can then focus on bigger things like strategy or growing the business more. So I don't tag parcels anymore. I don't call them courier companies anymore. I have a team of I have an operational team that does all that. Yeah. So, but of course I have to train them. I have to train them what to say, that kind of thing, right? So hopefully they emulate exactly what you do, and you got to constantly check. But that's a later stage. Where you guys are, you are thinking of starting something, or you've just started something. You have to do everything, and that's a good thing because if you know the A to Z of any business, then as you grow, you are in control and you train. That's important. I think I talked about this already. We have a wide variety of products, but although we already have a wide variety of products, we're not static still. I have a goal. Every month we must add on 5 new brands. That's our goal. If we don't, then we are stagnating, right? We can't remain status quo. We must constantly add to grow. If growth is your model, and everybody's model should be growth, because if you start a business, if your plan is not to grow, there's no point doing it, because when you start something from scratch, you just have to continuously grow until you reach a really good level. And at that point, you still grow, but not at the crazy rates that you were in the beginning. Yeah, so it will plateau a bit, but you still must have growth. But you're already in that frame of mind of constantly growing anyway. So at that point, it'll be really easy. Yeah. Fast delivery and quick response time. Every order that comes in, we pack up on the same day and send out. We tell customers that 1 o'clock is the cut-off time, but actually, even if the order comes at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we still process, repack, and send out, so that the customer can get it within 1 to 2 working days. We do that because we want our customers to be happy. We don't like the idea of customers having to wait 4 or 5 days or a whole week. Don't forget, these are moms who have run out of diapers, who run out of milk. They are waiting impatiently. They have no time. They've got screaming babies at home. They don't have time to go to the supermarkets, or they might ask their husbands or whoever to do it, but they want things quickly. So to win their confidence, and we kind of have to over-deliver in that sense. So it's very important to be fast and quick. We are also trusted advisors to many moms and dads. What I mean by that is, remember earlier I told you that we speak to all our customers, and that sets us apart. But what we do is we also talk to them. They will tell us problems. So for example, some moms will say to us, hey, my baby's got this diaper rash, or it's got eczema. What item in your website is good or cure? So they're looking for advice. And I think, again, Lazada, Zalora, and all these big ones are not going to give you advice. They're just a platform where they sell products, right? So again, this is something we thought of to make us stand out. So we become a platform for sharing ideas. So we also ask our parents, say to them, hey, what works for you? What's doing really well? Or what brands would you like to see more on Baby Dash? And that's where we get some of our ideas. What else to add on? We realize, oh yeah, we don't have that brand. So and so suggested it. We don't have it. We better quickly add it on. So that since they're using it, and they're buying, let's say, diapers from us, but they can't buy that particular cream because we don't have it, we better get it quickly. So that next time they buy from us, they can buy the diaper plus the cream. See what I mean? So we're constantly talking to customers and saying, tell us what you need, whether it's stuff from Malaysia or even if it's brands from abroad, tell us, because then we will look to import it in for you. Yeah. So it's a bit much to handle. We really want to be strong in Malaysia first before we consider making our website feasible for international deliveries. No point doing that until you're really strong. Your foundation is very good in Malaysia and you're champion of the country. You know what I mean? So that's our aim right now, to really be dominant and then to look at expanding that way. What else? Okay, this point, we are updated with all the latest trends. Like I said, because we speak to all the parents and they give us feedback, we are actually very updated on what's new out there and what everyone wants, because we're constantly talking to our customers. So that's important. And we don't just talk to them over the phone, we use our social media platforms a lot. So I think all you young people are really into social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. These tools are really important because you ask a question, people will answer, and you get ideas from there. So always take cues from your customers or people who are interested in your business, because you learn from them too. And you take those ideas and you add it on. Once you think they're good, you know what I mean? Of course you have to go through. Okay, current and future challenges. Earlier I talked about what our initial challenges were. Just to share a little bit about this right now, what we are facing right now is we have to constantly educate the market, because not everybody understands our products, and we have to explain to them. For example, I told you we control organics, it's an organic baby food brand. Now what's different about it is the shelf life is really short. Malaysians like to go shopping, and then when they see stuff in the supermarket, they look at the date, oh, 2 years from now, then it's good. But if something is expiring next month, people are panicking, oh, it's an old item. It's been on the shelf for 2 years already. But, so that's what the challenge we are facing right now, because the brand we control has a very, very short shelf life, like 3-4 months. And the reason behind that is there's no preservatives, it's organic, it's the best thing for baby, and the safest thing. So we have to tell them, hey, we have to tell our customers, if something can last 2 years, what have the manufacturers put in there to make it last 2 years? Obviously put in a lot of preservatives. People don't really think about that, So we have to take time to explain this. So this is the challenge, to constantly tell customers. Otherwise, sometimes they receive the parcel, they're like, hey, you shortchanged me, you sent me something that's expiring in 2 months. We have to tell them, actually, this is the latest shipment just came in last week, you're getting something fresh. And And then we have to explain to them why it's expiring. So it's tiring, but it's an important thing to do for now. Another challenge right now is, okay, remember I spoke about us talking to all these big brands to come online. Now, all these big brands are so used to marketing. You open the newspapers, you'll see a giant ad, and you'll see diapers and milk. They slash the prices, right? So all these big brands support those advertisements. They spend their marketing dollars there for these brick and mortar stores like supermarkets and baby stores. But what's the challenge for us right now is we are talking to them and say, hey, you're already spending market with them, but you don't know when you spend your marketing dollars on an ad in the newspaper, you don't know what your return is, how many people are seeing it, how many people actually buy, how many people you're converting. So we're trying to tell them, if you spend your marketing dollars with us, if I put it on Google, if I put it on Facebook or whatever, I can actually measure the conversion rate, and I can then come back and tell you what the results are. So this is a challenge for us right now because a lot of these big companies don't understand that. They're also used to the old and conventional ways of marketing, and we're trying to convince them to think differently now. So again, another challenge that we're facing right now. This wasn't a challenge in the beginning, because in the beginning it was about convincing the brand to even come and partner us. Now that they are with us, we're like, okay, this is what you need to do. So we are also innovating with them, but we have to convince them. And with the big brands, it takes a longer time because there are so many levels of hierarchy to convince. This is a huge challenge, how to scale good customer service. I told you that we speak to our customers on a daily basis, right? Okay, we speak to X number right now, but can you imagine once we start doing, 500, 1,000 orders, then, how are we going to make sure that we keep our customer service still at that level? That means I need to grow the team, customer service team, but I need to make sure that the team we hire is good. So this is going to be a huge headache. I don't know how we're going to scale the customer service. We know we must do it. We know we have to start now. But that's a challenge, and we are still thinking about it. So just sharing that with you. And the last challenge we have right now is, because we've come to a particular point, we used our own savings to start this whole business. We didn't get money from anywhere. My partner and I just dug up all our savings and then did it. That's the other thing about doing your own business. You actually are fully invested. Of course, if you're lucky enough to have somebody give you money, or a relative say, okay, I'll invest in you, then great. But otherwise, you are invested in yourself, and you don't actually earn anything. I mean, I can tell you, for the first 3 years, I think, only now I think a little bit. At the beginning, nothing. I worked for free, basically, because I knew the aim was to build a business and to take it somewhere, and then eventually I will earn from it. But if I started paying myself a salary from the start, then you're taking away funds from your business that can help your business grow. So for me, the motivation was to grow first. Don't care about yourself, grow the business, then later on you reap the rewards. So that was a driving factor behind it. So now that we've come to a particular point, we actually need funds to grow. So once you guys have taken your business to a particular level, you will be at a point where you need a lot more money to really grow the business. So we're at the point where we don't have those funds by ourselves. And we're talking to venture capitalists, we're talking to high net worth individuals who are actually interested to invest in our business. But as exciting as that sounds, it's also scary, because we don't want to simply partner with anyone. Because people, like venture capitalists will come in to your company, they will demand, let's say, 20% stake, 30% stake. What is venture capitalists? Okay, VC is short form for venture capitalists. VCs, there are plenty of VCs in Malaysia, plenty in Singapore. In Southeast Asia right now, especially if you guys are looking at an online business, Southeast Asia is booming with VCs. They have a lot of money. They all want to invest their money for a quick return, because they will get. If you go and Google things like Cowteam.com, I don't know if you guys have seen it on Facebook.
It's such a name.
Yeah, Cowteam.com, and these are all young startups that have already got VC funding. But they've got funding as a startup. They don't have the numbers to prove it. Whereas people like us, we have numbers to prove it after 3 years. So we're at a different stage. We're at a higher stage. Whereas some of these startups will go with their business plan to VC and say, give us the money, this is what I'm going to give you in return in 3 years' time. You will get, I don't know, they will promise up 100, 200, 300%, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, but by doing that, you give away a big chunk of your company, and the the danger behind that also is that these companies will then kind of try and take control of your direction. So if you have a direction in mind, they will say, no, we did, because they will need a board seat on your company, and then they'll say, no, they will change your mindset. If they disagree with you, they do have a say, because you've given your company away, right, or part of it. So that's the drawback. So for us, although it's nice to say, oh yeah, all these VCs want to partner with us, we haven't decided yet. In fact, we've just kind of like, we're not sure. We've kind of pushed away a few offers because we don't think they're the right partners, So we want to be in control of our company because we know what we need to do to grow. We are very focused, and so we want to make sure we really partner with the right people. So at this point, I'm actually thinking maybe the VC way is not the way to go, and it's better to go with like a high net worth individual who really can't be bothered about our business and won't disturb us, but wants their return. So they will let us do what we want, and then we give them their return, as opposed to VCs who come in and mess up your structure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't know that before. I've only learned this in the last 6 months actually. So that's why I can share that with you. Yeah. What else? Okay, but benefits of running your own business, actually it's great. You have the opportunity to create something out of nothing. You're creating value from zero. So that's exciting, because you're doing something new, something dynamic in your country. Yeah, you manage your own time, but if you become a bit crazy like me and you work non-stop, then it's probably worse than working in a company because you just work too much, right? But the point is, because I have my own business, I can actually send and pick my kids for their music class, or I can spend time with them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's why I went into business as well.
Yeah,
I left banking just to do all that.
Correct, but that doesn't mean you spend less time working. It just means you shift your working time to later as well.
24 hours.
Correct, 24 hours. Last night I slept at 2:30, by the way, because I was working till then. So, and then this morning, the point is, if you work in a company, you go in, you clock in, and you clock out. Yeah, you might take some work home, but it's not 24/7 like running your own business. So it's about managing your own time, and to me, that is actually a benefit. And the other benefit is the satisfaction, the fulfillment of creating something and achieving something, a goal that you envision, and to be able to accomplish that is something amazing. You feel really good that you've done something. So that's that. My key takeaway for today: if you have an idea and you truly believe, you must truly believe in it. You cannot be if you're half-hearted, don't do it. You must really believe in it. If you believe in it, don't let any obstacles come in your way. There will always be people tell you, oh, it can't work, or don't be silly. But if you truly believe in it, you must do it. And just, work really hard, be ambitious, and take it forward. That's it. Any questions?
That was really quick. We gave you like 2 hours. So the 1 hour of questions.
Really?
Maybe coaching, maybe mentoring.
No. Actually, that I want that question and answer. That I can help. Yeah.
So don't be shy.
Yeah, please ask questions because I have a lot of things I can share with you. Actually. Sorry. Any questions? How many of you are running an online business right now? Somebody just now mentioned you have 2, right? It's on Facebook. Okay, and which one is doing better, Facebook or Instagram? It's new? Okay, it's April now, so you started in January? 4 months. And you have more followers there than your Facebook? Yeah, Instagram. Yeah, that's the other thing about social media. I think if you guys are thinking of starting your own online business, social media is constantly changing. So Facebook used to be really good for us in the beginning. Now it's pointless because last time I put out a post, I'll get so many likes. Now I put out a post, if I get 10 likes, I'm happy. And I have 99,000 followers on my Facebook page. So it's ridiculous to only get 10 likes. But that's because Facebook wants you to pay for every post. And we don't want to do that. We've done our fair bit of advertising on Facebook, which we do still, but we don't want to boost every single post. Instagram, on the other hand, hasn't started charging for the posts, but I'm sure they will go down that road going forward because Facebook owns Instagram. So yeah, so you gotta be, that's the other thing, you gotta be in touch with the social media changes which are constantly happening, Yeah. Anyone else who runs their own online business or is thinking of starting an online business? Yeah, what are you thinking of?
I actually have my own business.
Okay.
I actually sell handmade jewelry
Okay.
and handmade
Okay. And you, what platform do you use? Is it a website?
I use Etsy.
Oh, Etsy. Okay, how's that working?
Because that one is geared for craft makers.
Yeah.
So I actually use Etsy and sometimes I find Facebook.
Yeah.
So that one's geared. The Facebook one's more geared for the Asian side.
Yeah.
Whereas Etsy is more geared for the international side.
Oh, good. How long have you been doing that for?
2 years.
Okay.
But it's sort of a part-time thing because I do yeah. So I haven't really went into the business
Yeah.
doing okay. Like I still get like things even though I have less routine.
Right. Good. Yeah. But the more time you spend on it, the more you will get. I mean, for us, it's the same thing. It was part-time for me as well at the beginning. Then I realized I couldn't cope because it was slowly growing, and if I really wanted to take it forward. So it depends on your goal. If you really want to take your business forward, after a while, you have to then focus 100% on it and not do the other part-time things and then focus on this. That's exactly what I had to do. Yeah.
So before you came in, I actually posed a problem that I'm having right now. It's,
Okay.
basically that I'm having trouble concentrating because I work alone at home.
Yeah.
So it's a very lonely job.
Yeah, of course.
So
You're on your own, right?
how do you cope with that?
You know what? It's purely. That's an interesting question. I think it's because I'm very driven. I know what I want to achieve. I know, and I also know time is not on our side. In the e-commerce world, you need to be fast, and I also know the drawback from the very beginning is because of the one-man show for a good 3 years. Well, actually, no, I hired my first staff in December 2012, but she was just helping me to pack and process. Everything else I was still doing. So effectively, I was still a one-man show. And because for me, I don't think of it as lonely because I know I actually don't have time to think of it because I'm just working non-stop. So, and I know I have a particular goal to achieve. You see, when I say do your business model, right? We did our business model for the first year to see whether or not this whole business is viable. But after that, I actually have a 3-year, 4-year plan now. So I know what I must achieve this year. I know what I must achieve next year. I know what my goals are. I know if I receive funding from outside, how much I want to grow, how much more that business can grow. So because I'm so focused on that, and every month I have a target. I know what I must achieve by end of this month, end of next month. So, and if I know my daily revenues are not meeting that target, I've got to think even more, right? So it's not lonely because I'm constantly thinking and I'm driven to achieve those goals. So if you're driven and you're motivated, the concept of loneliness will not even appear to you. Because it's just too much to think about. You're so busy thinking about pushing the business forward, you don't have time to think about, oh, this is boring. No lah, actually it's exciting. So if you're lonely, maybe you need to find new facets to the business which is really exciting. Maybe you're bored with that particular range that you're creating. Maybe you need to think of new ideas, fresh things which will keep it exciting and dynamic for you. Yeah. That's it. Sure. Anyone else running an online business or yeah?
Just a question.
Sure.
Before anyone starts an e-commerce business or something, do we need to have a backup qualification?
No, I have zero qualification as far as e-commerce is concerned. I know nothing. I have a law degree. I don't know anything about creating
I think
websites.
this law just makes you brave.
No, I think, you know what, it's your character. It doesn't matter what degree you have. You can have a maths degree, you can have a physics degree, history degree, doesn't matter. But it's your character. What do you want to achieve? You really want to do something, and you put your heart and soul into it, you'll definitely achieve it. But it's a lot of hard work, you know, so no need qualifications. In fact, the people I hire also, I don't really care about qualifications. I know their personality. Are they going to work hard? You know, are they really determined to make this a success? You know? Yeah. The latest person I just hired is she's straight out of SPM actually. She's got 0 qualifications, but she's so hard. I'm so impressed with her. She's working so hard. She's thinking of ideas herself, and she comes up with suggestions and tells me. You know, she's like, oh, what about this? You know, this would be interesting, and she's trying to innovate herself. And I'm like, wow. Yeah. So no need qualifications. It's about your mindset. Yeah.
Lavanya,
Hi.
I have a question. How do you compete with the hypermarket? For example, like Tesco,
Yeah.
the supplier initially they give you the prices is higher, definitely higher than their
Yes.
prices, right?
Yeah.
So how do you like stand out from
Yeah,
that?
I'm still struggling with that because, yeah, what we do is when we treat the diapers and some of the milk as loss leaders. So we actually lose on some of the sales, but the idea is to make sure I can compete. If I don't compete with Tesco and Giant, you know the Malaysian mentality, they will want to buy the cheaper price. So I must compete. So I compete with Tesco on a daily basis. And I am cheaper than Tesco and all the other supermarkets. But I'm cheaper on their normal prices. When Tesco throws the price over the weekend and there's a special weekend sale, that one I cannot compete because Tesco is losing money when they do that. But on a day-to-day basis, you see, mummies run out of diapers they don't run out on the weekend, right? They can run out anytime. Suddenly on a Tuesday they run out, they need to buy desperately, they can't wait for a sale. Or some mummies are really smart, when there's a weekend sale and then they stock up 5, 6 packets. But how many people can stock up, right? You have to go there, fill up your boot, and then occupy so much space in your house, right? So that's not really a barrier to us. But we treat it as a loss leader. What we do is, diapers and milk are very skinny margins, we don't make money. In fact, sometimes if people buy purely the diapers and milk from us, we might lose money on that sale because we actually absorb the shipping costs as well. And that's why our strategy in the beginning was to get it in as a good price so that people start buying from us. Then we add on the higher margin items like the baby shampoo, the diaper free, nutrition. We make our money on that, not on the diapers and milk. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was wondering, have you think about delivering it straight to the house?
We do deliver straight to the house. We team up with the courier company.
I mean, like, when it's like online,
Yeah.
pay the money, and, oh, okay, just like, you know, like Pizza Hut and McDonald's.
Oh, okay. It's a bit hard to do that because we deliver all over Malaysia. So if somebody in Sabah has ordered, I can't deliver within 1 hour. So we deliver to all the 13 states right now. And but what we do is we are still very quick considering no matter where you are in Malaysia, people are actually shocked. We get a lot of these great compliments on our Facebook page saying, wow, we received our order, we ordered from you yesterday at 4 o'clock and I received it today at 10 o'clock in the morning. So about 80% of our orders are delivered within 24 hours. Yeah.
So good time management.
Have to. So my team they are constantly packing. I tell them, although our cut-off time is 1 o'clock for all the orders coming in, I told them after 1 o'clock, orders coming at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, still process. Right down until the courier company comes at 4:30 or 5 to 5 parcels, they are still packing. So we send out as much as we can in a day. Yeah. Go ahead.
I have some ideas.
Sure.
But first of all, I would like to know what is your future plan for your business? In
My
this-
future plan, very
yeah.
simple, to dominate Malaysia.
In order to stand out.
World domination.
No, even
Malaysia first,
Malaysia first.
Jago kampung.
Indonesia. After that, Indonesia.
Yeah,
Indonesia is a different
International.
ballgame lah. We're not, yeah, it's a bit tough, but definitely Jago kampung first.
Okay, do you plan to cooperate with those like pharmaceutical company?
Pharmaceutical?
Pharmaceutical.
What do you mean specifically?
For example, like I have an idea actually. I saw, Sport.
Eurosport?
No, Sport is a company.
Sports?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just new came out.
Okay.
They sell baby stuff also.
Okay.
And they came out with the clinic, everything, library, children education, everything. But they do very well online. So I was thinking that maybe you can came out with a hotline
Right.
in your web, so that the new parents can call you. So you have those like professional where they can accept your call, they can accept their calls 24 hours and deal with the baby problem. For example, like maybe I am the new parents, I call your hotline 24 hours on call, and then I ask like, my baby is warm, and then I need your help I check her temperature is 37.5 maybe. So do I need to give this medicine like that? So yeah, you can sell from you can sell
I
medicine.
see, yeah, I understand what you're saying. What is that website called? Is it a website you're talking about?
SPROUT.
Sprouts. Oh, you're talking about the one in Jaya, the school or something.
It's
Yeah.
just new, right? New.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
it,
yeah.
sorry?
Sprouts, yeah.
SPROUT. Is it .com?
Sprouts.
You can just Google. You can just Google Sprout and then
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, they have a clinic and they got kind of sprouts, something like that. But it's in that Jaya, what's it called? The school. It's in the school. You know that place in Jaya, is it Jaya 1 or Jaya 1? Jaya 1. Yeah,
What do they do?
they are like the one-stop where they sell baby things. They have a clinic, they have a pharmacy, like you say, and I think they have a psychologist as well.
yeah, everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could collaborate with them. The reason they can give that kind of advice is because, I mean, we also give advice, but we don't give medical advice, of course not. We share experiences. Yeah, that's right. But if you're talking about temperature and those kind of things, in fact, we've had people even bring their child to our warehouse, can you imagine? And show us the rashes and ask us which cream will help. So we told them what is quite good, but we always, in this kind of thing, please refer to a doctor because you don't know why the child has that rash. So it's a bit hard to give medical advice when you're not qualified. So maybe these people have 1 or 2 doctors there, and that's why they can give that kind of advice. If they're doing it 24 hours, that's really good. I didn't know that.
They have a hotline call.
Yeah.
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 So that they have a hotline call so that the parents don't need to bring their baby to the emergency department every time, so that they just call out and tell whatever situation they are facing.
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting idea. We can look into that. Thank you. Anyone else?
How did you manage to speak with the companies who tell about your business idea in the first place? Do they just entertain anyone, or do you have to be someone special?
No, you don't have to be anybody. You just need to be convincing and you need to be confident. So when you have an idea, you call them up, say, I'm so and so from whatever the name of your company is, and say, I'd like to speak to your sales rep, we'd like to carry your brand on our website, who can I speak to? And when you meet that person, you need to be confident about what you're doing to convince them, and then because they will then go back to their management and say, hey, we've got this company. So if you're not confident about what you're doing, then they will get the wrong vibe from you, right? Yeah.
Is it all done through the phone, or is there a follow-up?
Of course, the initial step is the phone call, but you must, and then I always ask them for a meeting. And then from a meeting, I talk to them, get a gauge of what they're doing, get their price list, and then after that, you exchange business cards, you have their emails, and then after that, after the meeting, you follow up with an email saying, thank you for that meeting, I look forward to getting more information and getting your brand in. And then it's all ding dong like that with the email and follow up phone calls until you get what you want. Yeah. Anyone else?
There are 19 people here actually, Lavini, who said that they'd like to have their own business. I think maybe only 4 people have spoken to you, so that means there's numbers-wise 15 more people who have business aspirations who haven't voiced anything that you have. Share an idea or even bounce off anything that's going on in your brain. We've still got a bit of time, and it's, this is a rare opportunity to have an entrepreneur. Yes, Rose?
If you are wondering about you have this kind of idea to create something, but you don't know what to call it, and you don't know where to go, what do you do?
I think Google is a good friend. You just go and see what, just go and look at what everyone is, what
Google research,
yeah, everything is Google. So let's say you have an idea. Yeah, tell me your idea.
I want a chair.
Pardon?
I want a chair.
A chair, okay?
Slide, and you can just put on the table, and you can eat it on the table.
Oh.
Slide. You can carry it. You put it
So what you should do is go and Google chair or furniture, that kind of thing, and then you will see all the global websites and what everybody brands themselves as. Right? And then from there you see all the names they come up with. And the good thing about all these brands is most of them have a story to tell as to how they came up with their name. So you must have a story as well to tell. If you don't have a story, then it's boring, right? So I'm sure you have a story about how you came up with that idea. How did you think about the chair and you're whipping out a table and all in one you to eat and then close it back again, right? So yeah, so I think Google those key basic words, see what everybody's branding themselves and get inspiration from there. And sometimes it's a matter of just taking 3 words here, 3 words there, combining, creating your own brand. I mean, like for us, Baby Dash wasn't a straight name. We had other names first. We tested out a few. And for us, simplicity is important. We wanted it to be as short as possible. We wanted it to be easily remembered, so that if I tell you Baby Dash tomorrow, you can go Google it, you will remember it. But if I gave you a long name, and some of our competitors have really long names, and if you don't get the spelling right, you won't find the link. What's the point, right? So you're going to be simple, and you must remember whatever brand name you come up with, it must be catchy and easily remembered. So people don't have to write it down, just remember it, and it's easy. Yeah. Sure. Anyone else?
Like, I have an idea where, in the crafting world, there's not a lot of things we get right in Malaysia.
Okay.
Like, you have to get it right from the US or other countries. So it's actually really hard to find cheap material for good quality material.
Okay.
Quality materials won't cheaply in Malaysia because everything's all imported. So the thing is, I've tried to find manufacturers in Malaysia to actually do the same thing here for Malaysian prices, but the thing is, I can't exactly find one. Like I've Googled and I looked past like 20 other pages for different search words and keywords and things like that. But
Do you have a sample of the raw material that have you got it from the US or something like that before?
yes, I have those materials. Like it's basically like stamping and die cutting and all that stuff. But I couldn't really find like a manufacturer that could actually help me with that kind of output.
Right.
So this idea had for like years, maybe not exactly years, but almost a year. But I've actually almost given up on it because I couldn't really find somebody that could actually do what I want to have done.
Well, I don't know your industry, so it's a bit hard. But for me, when I've had instances like that where I like for example, when I knew nothing about boxes and making boxes, and with my online business, I had to find someone who could make boxes for me. What I did was, actually it wasn't through Google. I did Google, but I also went through the yellow pages. I looked under printing companies. I had to think a little bit out of the box and not just think of box suppliers, but printing and and I had to ask people to recommend. So it was not just finding those people, but saying, okay, if you can't do it, do you know somebody who can? And I had to constantly search like that. So yes, I use Google, but I also use, I can't remember now, there's so many resources to find a few companies that could make boxes for me and could also make my Baby Dash mold print and then print it on the box for me. And I found 2 or 3 companies in the end, but their prices really vary. So I went obviously with the cheapest in the end, who gave me the best deal. But again, it was a lot of, it's like that, it's a lot of hard work. That's why I said the first 1 to 2 years, we didn't even market ourselves. We were spending time doing things like this, finding the box suppliers, learning how to upload this, a lot of research. So don't give up. If you actually have the raw material, you should take it to whoever you find, take it and show them and say, can you make this? Don't limit yourself to Malaysia because China is quite interesting. They can do all kinds of things. So if you take pictures of what you have and email it to them, I don't know if you speak Mandarin. If you do, then you're in luck. Then you can, because they're not very good in English, they're much better in Mandarin. Send them a picture of what you have. Ask them, can you do it? Actually, for us, because we are quite established now, we get clients from China all the time, telling us, oh, we can make baby backpacks for you, we can do this for you. All spare
So that brings my question, how do you then ensure quality? Because the concern we have about countries like China is consistency of quality.
Yeah.
So how do you verify?
Well, I think the thing is you ask them whether they can make it for you, ask them to do a sample and send it to you.
Sample.
But then you will need to promise on quantity. You must tell them roughly how much you're going to buy for them. But you need to ask them to do a sample. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully that works. Yeah. But China's quite good to get things cheaply if you can't do it in Malaysia. But I would seriously ask, if I were you, I would look even more in Malaysia. Take your sample with you, go through the yellow pages. So Google, don't forget, a lot of these manufacturing factories, you won't find them, they're not listed on Google. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you really need to go like to the Tepong, to the Balakong, Sri Kembangan, these kind of places, and one thing leads to another. In fact, my printer now, it's not even listed on Google. Both my printers, I have 2 printers. Yeah, I found one of them through actually one of my staff. He said, "Oh, I got this printer, it's really good." Then I called him. He's somewhere in Balakong. I've never even met him, but he's fantastic. His service. I email him what I want. He email me back samples and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, go print, send it to me. Then he courier to me. Yeah. So not everything is on Google. Although Google's a great friend, but for Malaysia, sometimes you need to go out and visit these places.
I quite agree with Lavini because there are also conventional ways like all these trade and business directories. Like you are aware of all these Chamber of Commerce and Industry, right? Like I belong to the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the last 20 years. And I can say, like what Lavini says, a lot of them you won't Google those small business owners. They don't have websites, they don't have anything that the search engines will pick up. But they are running little workshops, maybe making beads that you might want to use, maybe making the links or the chains that you may need for your jewelry. So they are all small backyard workshop type people, SME, SMI type. For example, Datin Norsia, who was here earlier today, for the Deputy President of NCWO, under the National Council of Women's Organizations are all the little women's NGOs, and that includes like what you call it, people who like have industry kampong, cottage industries. They could be women in Pahang, for example, poor rural women who are maybe stringing something together, who could be working with you to provide the materials that you need, but you're not aware of them, for example. So the various trade associations, business skills and everything, they have directories, business directories. You can actually go and look through, but like Lavini says, think out of the box, look at words that could relate to your area of business. They may not say bead manufacturer or stone cutter or something, but they will lead you to the materials that you need. And it could be very well in this country. My auntie, when she lost my uncle, who passed away a few years ago, she was very lonely and she had retired as a teacher and she had nothing to do to while away her hours. So she went and took up jewelry making just for the fun of it, these semi-precious stones sort of jewelry making thing. Next thing you know, she's taking little holiday flights with her sisters to Sri Lanka, to India, to wherever, bringing back in a suitcase little bits and pieces. And some of them are like semi-precious gemstones from like Myanmar and from Sri Lanka and everything, coral, pearls, whatever. Not the high grade that you'll have to go to Oli Muhammad and all and pay a few thousand for one pearl, but the type that is affordable by the average person in Malaysia. And then now she's making from home and she's selling. And in any given day, there's women dropping by her home just to pick up gifts for birthdays, anniversaries, what have you, and then she can customize also to suit what people want. Yeah, and she just did this because she was lonely after my uncle passed away, and now she's got a business going. So Faye, these are the things. I totally support what Lavini says. Look at the unconventional ways of getting information. Okay, last few minutes to go, maybe 15-20 minutes. Left before we let Lavini get on with the rest of the day. I gather you've got a little lunch party to attend, so you need to make tracks shortly.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Any more questions?
Last few inspired questions. Sean, yes, great.
I'm because I just opened up the website.
Yeah.
And I see you have a card function, my card thing. Did you learn how to
Sorry, we
program?
can't hear you. Speak up a bit.
You got a my card thing here on the website.
My cart, yeah.
So you can I assume that's so you can buy things online.
Yeah.
Did you learn to program it yourself, or did you hire someone else?
I hired a programmer. That was the website developer I was telling you about. Yeah, so they built everything for us, but they built the skeleton. They built the back-end functions, but we had to upload the products ourselves.
And have you considered mobile compatibility?
Actually, we're working on that right now. What you're looking at right now is a bit of a disaster because on the 1st of April when GST came in, we kind of timed it. We knew we had to upgrade our website. We found a new web guy, and on the 1st of April, we told him to switch to the new website, which is supposed to be web responsive, mobile responsive. He switched it over. It's not mobile responsive yet, but we're going through a lot of teething problems on the back end. So actually this weekend we're going to switch back to our website temporarily until we fix those problems. So yes, we're definitely looking at being mobile responsive, not an app, because if you do an app, firstly it's far more expensive, and then you're going to customize one for Android, one for Apple, that kind of thing. But if you do web responsive, no matter where you open your website, whether it's an iPad, a tablet, a phone of any size, the website will configure itself according to the screen size. So that's actually better than an app. So we are working on that right now. In fact, we wish it was up and running already. It should have been, but we had all these back-end problems. These are the joys of technology, which again I'm clueless of, and I'm depending on our web guys, so I can tell them what I'm not happy about, and we're not happy about this right now, so we're switching back. Yeah.
How much does it roughly cost to do a website like this?
Actually, my information is 3 years old because at that time, I can share with you, there were people who could do it. Actually, it depends. If you're saying a website with a shopping cart, with the shopping cart, the cheapest at that time was 3,000, which is a lot of money. But I mean, you can also build websites at 1,500 at that time. But now, from what I understand, you can even do it very cheaply. There's things like Shopify and Webcart and all that, where you pay a monthly fee. I don't know, $80, $100, whatever. But those are templates. It's not customizable. Like for example, people like us, we can't use Shopify because we are looking to scale. But when we're starting, let's say we were at the beginning right now. 3 years ago, there was no Shopify or Webcart or whatever. But if we were starting right now, I would do that. I would go to Shopify and Webcart. I won't spend 3,000 ringgit. I will do this, I don't know, $100 a month or whatever, and then see whether the business works. If it works, if it's scaling up, then you upgrade later. Yeah. So you keep your costs low like that. But don't forget, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, we didn't have those kind of options. So, but also at that time, we already knew we wanted to spend a reasonable amount, and we also wanted our business to really scale and grow. So from the beginning, we wanted to customize. I didn't want to just buy any other template. Yeah, because we had that goal in mind already to really grow quickly. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I have not thought about that. Writing a book? Wow. Writing a book on what? How will I go about publishing? I have no idea because I don't have experience.
Well, we have two authors who came and spoke, Shariq Kamaluddin and Krish. Remember Krishnamurthy about the MX370? Perhaps we'll get you in touch with them and talk about it. If you're serious about both of them have published books, and Shariq has got 3 best-selling books to her credit. So you can
I have no experience in that. I can't answer that. I have no clue.
We'll put you to them. I'll give you the email contact. If you're serious about making that your business, then I will hook you up with them.
Interesting. Sure. Yeah. Yes, I sent it to Felda. I don't know where. I found
Fantastic.
all over, anywhere in Malaysia. Sure. Sure. I love ideas. Tell me. Yeah. 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 Donor. I've heard of it. Is it an Indian brand? It's a very well established brand, right?
They have their website.
Okay.
And they only send it because
Oh really?
so for me, I would be already have faith in that product.
Sure.
Anyway, make it up for my grandmother.
Yeah.
She's in Dallas.
Yeah.
If she want to buy it, she has to drive about 2 hours.
Really?
So hard.
Ah.
So to time extra, that's quite hard.
What product is this? Is it a mummy's? Is it a baby's product? It's not.
More to skincare.
Skincare for women. Oh, okay. Wow, look it up.
Just to cure the marks.
That's relevant to the mummy's market. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'll look it up. I know that name from a long time ago. Good idea. Thank you. Anyone else?
When you started, how did you build the business model? Like, yeah.
How did I build my business model?
Yeah. How much do you estimate that you will need to spend to build up the company? Like, did you do your research first before you get an estimate, or you gave yourself a budget and then you work?
Yeah, we gave ourselves a budget first, but it was not a final budget. We just told ourselves, okay, we'll put X amount aside. Let's see whether we can work with this. If we need a little bit more, we'll pump in a little bit more. But we were very careful. We were very, very particular about costs. And actually, in the beginning, even things like products, right? The best case scenario is you negotiate credit terms upfront with your suppliers. So you're going to have to buy, you're going to pay cash upfront. But when you're a startup, people don't know you. So we actually couldn't do that because they want you to buy they say, okay, you want my brand, no problem, but you're going to buy it upfront. So we had to do that first and then prove to them, give them a little bit of a track record, and then after that go back to them and negotiate credit terms. So you have to, basically they want to see, you have to invest in yourself, and they want to see that you are willing to take that plunge and that you have faith in your own business. Yeah. Anything else?
Okay. Now let's show Lavini a big round of appreciation.